Alright, so today we got some parts for the Subi. Coda, I know you think it's yours, but come on, get back. Get back, I go. Watch out, buddy. Let's see what we got today. We got our Act clutch. Buying just the clutch itself, not too bad. I think it was like $150 to $160 for the clutch itself. Let's see, how do I open this thing? Who knows if the bearings scored anything? I still gotta pop off the clutch that's there, but nice fresh new clutch to go in. And when the throttle bearing exploded, it messed up the pressure plate, so I had to go ahead and get a new pressure plate. Move that so the dog don't step all over it. And we got some nice cool little stickers. And a replacement pressure plate, heavy duty street performance, to replace the one. And that's our kit. Just waiting on the sleeve. TSK3 from PDM. The sleeve over that snout. Alright, here we are underneath my 2016 Subaru WRX, where my throttle bearing has failed me and destroyed a lot more things than I would have liked, that's for sure. So to start, the throttle bearing up here, a couple of the pressure plate teeth, these prongs here, a couple of them over here are pried out. I'm assuming like part of the throttle bearing here, or wherever the pieces are, caught it and just, forced it as it shouldn't have, but it is what it is. So I'm here to replace my pressure plate and the clutch pad and check on my flywheel. Thankfully, flywheels are resurfaceable, so I'm counting on that. And we'll get right into it. 6 bolts here to undo. Not too bad. They're 10 millimeters. It's only going to be one thing or another that's going to be stubborn on you, huh? There we go. Alright, so clutch and pressure plate come out at the same time. Let's see. Not too bad. Smoked a little bit. I've definitely roasted the clutch a few times trying to launch this thing. Just got to learn how to drive, I guess. And here's the clutch. Honestly, there's still a lot of life left on this thing. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Still quite a bit of life left on this thing, but... Oh, I'm noticing a pattern, though. Seems like I'm making more contact on the outside edge than I am towards the center. There is the 8 flywheel bolts that are a 14 millimeter 6-point socket. Go ahead and remove all of these here. Out comes the flywheel. Back in there you have a reluctor plate that you want to try not to remove, you can. Just always make sure you put it back. I have done a clutch job before on this car and I forgot to put it in. And I got everything back together, ready to go. And it kept throwing a crank position sensor, so I started to freak out. What did I do? What did I do? Turned out I forgot to put the reluctor plate on. It only goes, it can go on there either way, so you want to pay attention to the way that it's on. I believe the teeth, because there's teeth on the outside edge here that sensor counts for a crank position, and you want those teeth to be in towards the engine block. So these 8 flywheel bolts, I could be wrong. I'm going off of a forum that I found, off of clubwrx.net, and I found a forum for putting everything back together, and it comes to be 55 foot-pounds for the flywheel bolts, and I've gone off of this forum every time I've done a clutch. Probably 3 times in the 5 years that I've owned this thing. And I've gone off of this forum every time. And it hasn't failed me yet. I believe just like a tire, you want to tighten them down in a star-like pattern until you get them secure, and also torque them down in a star-like pattern, just like putting on a tire. And that's never failed me, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I assume you do that because of the rotation. It's got rotation, and when you set it, if you tighten down here first, you're going to tighten that flex plate, or flywheel, crooked, and then this side might not seat all the way as it should, rather than going up, down, left, right, corner to corner. Just my 2 cents. I could be completely wrong. That's just, the way the logic behind what I think of why that is. Alright, here comes the hard part. Trying to torque 55 foot-pounds by yourself. Uh-oh. I might not have enough room without an extension. But I know that an extension, yeah, I don't have enough room. Dang it.
Seems like everything's torqued down. Let that go. Need to grab my alignment tool and get this cleaned up, pull the clutch out of the package, align everything, put the pressure plate on, torque those down.
When you fully are installing your pressure plate. So we got these pins here, there's 3 pins. So our pressure plate will rest. Oh no, without us putting any bolts on yet. it's just about there. So these bolts will only go to about 26 foot-pounds. You want to torque them down in your star pattern as usual. I'm just getting everything snugged in, making sure we're aligned properly. All right, we got the PDM TSK3 snout kit with the oversized throw bearing and the sleeve. Quality looking products, came with very specific instructions. Make sure your snout is nice and clean. Make sure there's no burrs from the damage from the previous throw bearing. They supply 6 small Allen screws. It only requires 4 to install. I went ahead and started them in there, so I have an easy install with them. Let's see how this. They don't recommend it for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have a shifter that had these little tiny Allen bolts to hold it in, and they always came loose. Yep, it was for my Civic too. Oh,
God damn.
there we go.
That one ain't coming out.
Little dot does a lot. That's what my first grade teacher used to always say when using Elmer's glue.
Tighten the screw set, got one over time so as to prevent cracking the transmission snout before you fill in the sleeve.
Alright.
Definitely want either of those.
Yeah.
I mean, before the sleeve, you get another one.
Yeah, good point. My brake cleaner with no pressure.
Oh, okay. That's it. Apply supply grease to the sleeve, remove the size of the
Oh, yeah.
bearing to the pivot ball in transmission. Install the throw-out bearing on the clutch fork by lightly squeezing the retainer clip and slipping it into the back of the fork. Reinstall fork and throw-out bearing together. Note: check the fork pivot ball clip for clearance to the sleeve itself. The clip may have to be bent at a more acute angle to clear the sleeve lock. Typically, this is only applicable to cable actuated clutches. Failure to do this may create a clicking sound when depressing the clutch.
Okay. It's fluid. It's not cable. So it should be alright. Smear that grease in all over nice and smooth. Even application. That should be good. Oh, that should be how that sits. Make sure that stays on that ball. Oh, now we can get it lifted up on the jack and start raising this transmission up.
Alright, I got my homeboy DT Slow Scooby out here on Instagram. Hit him up, show him some love on the Instagram.
He's gonna help me get this transmission lifted back up on this jack so we can gracefully lift it back up and connect it back to the block. Yeah, I probably could have done it myself, but it's a lot easier and a lot safer to have an extra hand.
So scoot it up towards you more, and then
Alright.
we have that ready to go up.
Quick bait bit. Ready?
Oh, my brush is out.
Oh no, that, I thought so too, but that is like a, it's supposed to be like that. Both sides are like that.
Move it on the screen for a minute.
Alright. These fucking work headphones are just in my way. Alright, get this in. If I pull on this end, while you lift up, you want to move that piece of plywood out of the way? Okay, here comes the fun part.
You're on the one now.
Alright, let's get it. Yep. Oh, shit. Okay.
Alright, and scoot down.
Yeah, I might need a better position here too. Let's see, what can I do different?
We can go my end first, up here, and then go your end.
Okay, so you lift your end and I try to center the jack.
You hold the jack.
Okay.
Hold the jack, you start lifting up your end.
Okay.
Here we go. Up now. Up a little bit. Good. Okay. Alright, so hold it down.
Yep.
Alright, ready to do that again? Go. Alright.
Boom.
There she is.
Much easier. Okay, so on the slide off towards passenger side.
How do
So,
you ratchet it up? Here you go. Where's your impact?
good question. My impact is, I've got to hold it here.
Pull back. Then look at your car.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect. We'll find the impact real quick.
We could try to lift it more towards the back if you want. Hold on, what's going on with my shifting cables?
Okay, they're fine. Do what?
Alright, lift up your end and we're gonna try to pull back.
Okay.
Ready? Yep. Watch your fingers.
Okay.
Stable?
It seems to be so. I'm still going to hold on to it just to be safe.
Lift it up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and center up. Slide forward towards the block. Okay. Keep going up. Okay. We can come forward again. Okay. Go. Might have to go back just. Oh, there we go. Okay. Go ahead and go up. Okay, let's see where we at. Now we gotta figure out how to shimmy it forward. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's fucking getting on there now. Woo! Holy shit, okay, I need a break. My neck fucking hurts. Alright, where are you?
Thanks for coming out, brother.
Alright, so after fighting and struggling, me and the homie finally got the transmission sealed to the block. Definitely took some wiggling, some cuss words, some anger. What it actually took was I took my jack and a 4x4 post, and I put the post underneath the turbo, and I cranked up the motor so that the motor tilted back a little bit, and the transmission slipped right on. I got all the bolts in, although this bolt right here is missing because when I was pulling it out, the threads from the block got stuck in there. So I didn't have the time or effort to fix that, so I'm just going to run it without a top bolt, but it should be fine. We should be okay to send it. When you put your starter in, don't forget to get your ground. There's a ground wire right here. It goes to the top. The top bolt for the starter is actually a little bit longer because you have this brick plate and the starter itself. So the two starter bolts are slightly longer. Always remember which one's your top one because you have that extra plate. You got one underneath the starter, one down below, and then a nut. All these be torqued down to 37 foot-pounds.
And now back here, we need our transmission brace in, which I'll be doing next. Also, don't forget, if you have your transmission brace up, don't forget to have your cable bolt back in, right there. Makes for a tighter shifting. If you don't, it just feels really loose and play-like in the shifter.
So here I have the transmission brace. You got two 17mm bolts that go towards the engine bay. They be torqued down to 103 foot-pounds. We'll go ahead and at least set those finger tight first. Don't forget that there is a rubber grommet mount that has nuts to the transmission to the brace. Come on. There's that one. There's that one. Then we have four 14mm bolts that are going to be torqued down to 52 foot-pounds.
These down over right here. Then we'll work on the 17mm bolts. Sounds good, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, buddy. I love you too. Okay. That's 52 foot-pounds, huh? Alright. Baby, I love you very much, but I can't have you underneath this car. I've told you a bunch of times it's very dangerous to be under here. I would love for you to help me, but I just can't risk the danger of you being under here. Yeah, you can help me with the brakes on the Jeep, and we still have to fix your dirt bike. Yep. These are 14mm nuts that hold the transmission to the transmission brace. These I don't think have a certain torque setting. I just like to make them nice and snug. Right up here above the brace, there's a big rubber grommet anyway, so I don't think you need to torque to rubber ground it. Just nice and slow so it won't come loose. Okay, that should do. Now I'll need to grab my 17mm socket and adjust this torque wrench to 103 foot-pounds. You want to help me? Can you grab me the 17mm socket out of the toolbox? On the top part of the box. There's going to be a 17mm. It's going to be, keep going right there. Perfect, dude. Thank you so much. You've helped me a bunch. Well, that helped me a ton. So I didn't have to get out from underneath the car. Torque, this is going to be fine. Ugh. 103 foot-pounds, huh? All right. Boom. Transmission brace is up. Now I gotta get this little bolt here in. Get that guy going.
So the rear drive shaft slips right into the back of the transmission there. Then you have your carrier bearing mount, and they're two 14mm bolts, and they are torqued down to 38 foot-pounds. And then you have 4 bolts, nuts actually, back there, that are supposed to be torqued down to 27 foot-pounds. But I don't have a torque wrench that fits back there, so I've never torqued them down like that. I've just box and wrenched them until I couldn't anymore. Should be safe and fine. It's never failed me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these torqued down, install that back there, and the rear drive shaft will be complete.
All right, back in the shop today. We got everything buttoned up. We got the transmission. We got the clutch, the throttle bearing, the clutch fork. We got the transmission up with the braces all torqued down. We got the driveline in. That's all down. I got the wiring hooked up. I got the ground on. I got the pitch stop on. Now it's time. I slapped the CV axles in. Now we're gonna. So when you drop both sides, your sway bar extends down, so it's easiest to put both CV axles in before lifting one back up. I would not do side and then the other side because you're gonna fight the CV axle. So while the sway bar's down, you put both CV axles in, line them up, and then you can then start to jack it up, and it'll just be a lot easier. You're not fighting a bunch of stuff. From that point, I do have Kiddo out here helping me out, so go ahead and jack it up, but we're gonna try to line it up. We're gonna try to line it up with the suspension, okay? Keep going. We gotta get this hole up to here.
It's pretty hard.
It's gonna be tough, yeah.
I'm using my
Little bit more. Right there. Perfect.
I'm lucky that I'm a boy, so I'm super strong.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to help you.
that is pretty lucky.
And I'm lucky that I have a baby brother, so me and my baby brother
Can you grab that thing for me?
can help you. Whoa. Here. What is it for? Like a transmission?
No, that's a washer for this bolt right here.
Right there?
Yep.
Right there?
Okay. Hammer. Can you grab me the hammer? Yep, that taps it right there.
What do you need it for?
I need to tap in this bolt right here. Well, shoot. Rotate it to my mark. It's me tapping around.
No, there's another noise. I just wanted to know what it is. It's not really anything right now. Well. And then we're gonna... Okay, should I lower it?
Yeah, we're gonna go to the other side now.
Okay. Can mix it with the noise.
Squeaky noise.
Yeah.
It's a heavily used jack.
Yeah, but it's also pretty much used for Shark Boy when he scratches the thingy.
I'm gonna come back to this side to tighten everything down. We're gonna go to the other side, start getting that all assembled. Line that up. And then that. Go ahead. Wait. Go ahead. Okay. Little bit more. Right. Oh, a little bit. Right there.
Shark it, yeah. Let's use right there and then the other piece right there. Okay. Can I do the bottom one?
Sure. Undo the nut from it.
I can't remember the word if I have to decide.
And then the bolt goes from the back to the front.
How do you...
You gotta push it in there straight. You gotta push it in there straight. It went underneath the jack stand. Right here.
So, I just push it as hard as I can?
Yep.
No, like,
Yeah, it was tough.
how do you do that?
Okay, you can put the nut on, that's fine.
The 14?
The 19. Bottom side of the toolbox.
This one?
Top right. Top right of the bottom half of the toolbox. There's two halves. Yep. You just had your finger on it. Look at the numbers right below them. 15, 16, 17.
So this one?
Yep.
It's pretty hard to work on a car.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to it.
My hands are getting a little dirty now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to wash up real good before dinner time.
Okay.
All right. There's that side. Suspension's on.
Need to do the back? No.
No. Now we need to go back to the other side and do the suspension over there. Okay, push the brake down.
Right now?
Yep, and then let off. And then push it down and hold it. You holding it? All the way to the ground?
Yeah, I think so.
Torque down. Just hold it. Hold it.
But then you tired already.
Hold it. Hold it. Okay, we're good. On the CV axle, there's a spot where you can pinch the nut into position. So that way not only does it have to torque off, but it has to undo the pinch. Watch your leg. I don't want to get it with the camera. Next step is the wheels. Next step is the wheels there. Get them mounted up. I also have to get my oil filter, put my new drain plug crush washer on so it stops leaking because it's been leaking like a sieve lately. Make sure my transmission drain plug is tight. Then I can put my top mount intercooler on. I can drop it down to the ground, fill it up with oil, fill it up with gear oil, and see how she fires up.
Neighbors thought it was over. She's alive, boys.